Hello, Miami University and all Oxford community. I'm Anna.
And I'm Nia, your co-host for tonight's show. Welcome to a special edition of our show featuring all in-house interviews.
Spring is sprung at Miami University. As flowers bloom and students start to spend more time outside, Miami Activities and Programming hosted their annual Spring Fest event on April 2nd. The event featured ziplining, a zero-gravity ride, food, games, and even succulent painting. Springfest was held in Academic Quad this year, giving all students easy access to festivities.
Student body elections took place on March 16th, and it was announced that Amitaj Carr was elected the student body president, and Kennedy Grubb was elected the student body vice president for the 2022-2023 school year. MTN's Zoltan Feldman had the chance to sit down with the elected candidates and ask them about their future plans and to reflect on their campaign.
Thank you, Nia. I'm here joined today with our newly elected student body president and student body vice president, Amitaj Carr and Kennedy Grubb. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us.
We're so excited. Thank you so much, Zoltan.
So right off the bat, tell me about your campaign, how it felt to be a candidate for the student body president and vice president, and how you two decided to become running mates.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Oh, where do we even start? I guess we can start from when we met.
Yeah, that's a good place.
You want to go ahead with that?
So Amitaj and I met actually our freshman year here at Miami, and we met before the school year even started. So we did a program that Miami offered when we were freshmen. It was called Empowering Leadership at Miami, and it was basically a program that focused on women in leadership. So it was an early move-in program, and we really just happened to meet there and we hit it off. We became best friends and we've stayed friends ever since. And it's really ironic that we met at a program for empowering women in leadership, considering the roles that we have going into our senior year at Miami. So we owe a lot to Miami.
Absolutely, and like in this program, you know, you learn a lot about the concept of servant leadership, and we loved it, but we didn't really resonate with the thought of just the servant leadership. We thought there maybe was a better way to word leadership, especially for us being women who are empowered and want to be empowering others. And so we'd always joked, like, what if one day we ran for student body president, vice president? And she never thought I was serious. And Kennedy went to basic training, technical training, and came home in August. And I said, so we're doing this, right? And she was like, well, you know, if there's anyone I would do it with, it
would be you. So, and I was like, let's do it.
You know, and I'm so grateful she thought of me in that sense, because I think from day one, we were always aligned in our values of going back to ELAM and going, okay, our campaign is going to be about leading with love. And we said it out loud one day and we were like, because we were like, that's perfect.
It was perfect.
That's going to be our slogan. That's going to be the height of our campaign.
It really embodied everything that we wanted to do and everything, the way that we wanted to run this university if we were elected.
And our campaign was not an ordinary one. First of all, we had no campaign staff besides us, which is super not normal for a Miami student body campaign, but our experiences, I think, sharing that together enriched it.
Absolutely.
You know, just having one another to rely on and going to all of these student orgs, receiving these endorsements from the student body, managing our social media page, I think it kept us going during a really exhausting time.
It strengthened our relationship, and I think it put us in a really good place to move forward in leading the student body.
You mentioned lots of accomplishments that you guys had during your campaign. One of the biggest ones and a historical moment for student body at Miami is being endorsed bipartisan. Both the Democratic and Republican groups here on campus endorsed you guys. How does it feel to be like making that historical mark?
It is probably one of the things we are most proud of.
Yes.
And like you probably saw our reaction when you were mentioning it, because when we were dreaming about this campaign, we were like, what if we got bipartisan endorsed? And then we were like, oh, don't say it out loud. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's never happened before. How could we assume we'd do it?
Yeah.
And I remember the day we found out, I called her and I was like, we got it. And she was like, what do you mean we got it? And I go, we got both. And like, it was just
I have a picture on my camera roll of me walking to class and like literally crying, like just walking to class because it was so unbelievable. And I screenshotted our text and I said something like, even if we don't win, like this alone is such a big accomplishment. I am so proud of us.
And I think it spoke to just the leaders we wanted to be. Like when we say leading with love, when we say we want to bring people together, we weren't kidding. It wasn't a filler word. And you know, we both started crying when college Dems and college Republicans posted. They referred to one another as their friends.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen that during my time here on campus, and we were like, wow, like we've really started a movement.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think when we're old and have kids, like we're gonna tell them about it. Like it is probably one of our proudest moments in our undergraduate careers.
That is like amazing for you guys, and honestly, like I said, making history here at Miami. But the campaign's over now. You guys got your positions, you know, got the votes. What can students expect in the coming year? You guys have a lot of highlighted areas on your Instagram page of things to expect. Why don't you tell us like one really big plan that you guys have moving forward?
Oh, where do we start?
I guess if I go away from the platform, if we go away from, you know, our policy pieces, you can expect a lot of more school spirit.
Yes.
And that sounds like a silly answer because you're like, what is she talking about? But I think especially in a post-pandemic era, there's been a lack of unity within the Miami community because it's like, how do we talk to one another? Do people go to football events? Who do I go with? Or who is student body president? And our goal is to be everywhere and anywhere we possibly can be, supporting our students, highlighting our students, and making people know that like love and honor really does go beyond a tagline, and we're here to support and empower one another as a body versus just all of us doing our own thing at the end of the day, just trying to make it through our undergrad.
And I couldn't have said that better myself. We've talked extensively about the fact that we have a lot of students that are going to be coming in this new freshman class who they've gone through high school during COVID, and maybe they have a completely different idea of what college is than what we had coming into our freshman year, and we realized that we're looking at two separate groups with different ideas, and one of our main focuses is how do we bring this university and these different classes together, and like Amitaj said, we want to do that through school spirit, and that is what Love and Honor is all about. So
really inspiring. I know I've already seen you guys out and about on campus, and students can definitely look forward to seeing you guys just about everywhere, right?
Yeah, we're hoping.
Yes.
So I really do thank you guys for coming in today, and look forward to Amitaj and Kennedy in the coming school year, and we'll take it back to Nia and Anna.
Miami Television News extends our condolences to the friends and family of senior Tatum Molesky, who recently passed away in her off-campus home. Students needing someone to talk to can reach out to Miami Student Counseling Service at 513-529-5649. And now, here's Stephen with the latest sports update.
Thank you, Anna. It was a rough weekend for the baseball team. They lost 3 of their 4 matchups in a series at home against Eastern Michigan. The weekend did not start off so bad. The Redhawks opened the series with an 11-5 win on Saturday, which included an inside-the-park home run in the bottom of a scoreless 4th inning from sophomore Dalton Back. However, the tables turned quickly. The next day, the Redhawks dropped each matchup in a doubleheader. Game 1 was a 7-inning 3-1 loss. Game 2 looked to be in the favor of the Hawks with a 1-run lead heading into the 7th, but the Eagles tallied 7 runs in the top of that inning to claim an advantage that the Redhawks failed to take back. The season finale, seniors Cole Andrews and Nick McDougall each highlighted the 12-7 loss with 3 RBIs. Coming into the weekend behind the Hawks in the MAC standings, the Eagles' performances to close out the weekend earned them the better record. The Redhawks now sit at 8-11 in the conference and 12-19 overall. They travel to Western Michigan in a 4-game set beginning April 16th with hopes to turn around a season heading into the wrong direction. It was a complete opposite weekend for the softball team. The ladies swept Western Michigan and held them runless in all 3 games. 5th-year player Courtney Vierstra was named MAC Pitcher of the Week, going 4-0 over the past week and recording a 1.5 ERA. Sophomore Carly Spade took home MAC Player of the Week honors for recording a .579 batting average, 11 hits, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs. The Redhawks are running through the conference. They have a 21-12 record overall, but are 12-2 in the MAC. They plan to continue their dominance at Buffalo on April 15th and 16th. I usually do not talk about professional sports, but I cannot leave out that Miami's own Wayne Embry was honored by the National Basketball Association. The NBA announced 6 new awards to be presented to the teams that win their division. The awards are named after black players who were pioneers in the league. The 1958 graduate totaled 1,401 career points as a Red Hawk, still ranked amongst the top 12 in school history. In the NBA, Embry was selected to 5 All-Star teams and won a championship. Wayne Embry Trophy is given to the winner of the Central Division. Lastly, hockey head coach Chris Bergeron announced that the team's 2022-23 schedule on Wednesday. They have 18 home games scheduled, including a must-watch series against Michigan State. The team opens Steve Coach Caddy Arena October 1st and 2nd against Ferris State. Specific game times are to be announced at a later date.
Thanks, Stephen. Miami University Fashion and Design's annual fashion show will be held on April 30th at Millett Hall. This year's theme is Oasis. Here to tell us more is MUF&D President Melissa Murphy.
Hi, I'm Anna McDougall, and today I'm joined with Melissa Murphy, who is a senior and is the president of MUF&D here at Miami. Melissa, hi, thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks for having us. I'm so excited.
We're so excited to have you. So can you just start by telling us a little bit more about the fashion show that is coming up and what you expect to see from student designers this year?
Yes, absolutely. This is probably my favorite question. I could talk about the fashion show all the time. So this year is the 16th annual fashion show. Because of COVID, we have not had a show since 2019,
Wow.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
This is a huge event on Miami's campus, bringing in a lot of students. Typically, we have between like 12 to 1,500 guests. A lot of alum come back, a lot of fashion industry leaders, professionals, faculty. It's just a great event to network, meet people, and showcase what our org does all year. So we have 16 student designers this year. They each make a collection, and we have 75 models total, and each collection has between 3 to 10 models. And each collection is really cool because the designer gets to just showcase themselves. Whatever that looks like, whatever they are inspired by in the world, they get to show through their collection, and we just can't wait to see everything.
That's awesome. And how long usually do the student designers spend working on their projects?
It is quite the process. So
Yeah.
it actually starts in August.
Wow.
They have to submit the first project. It's typically some clothing, and they have to have certain requirements to get approved to be in the show. And then they start right after that. So since August, they've been working on their collection. And we actually have our final critiques this week to finalize everything before the show.
Wow. So where did the inspiration for the name Oasis come from, and what exactly does Oasis entail?
Yeah, so about a year ago, actually, Erin Poplin, our VP, I called her and I said, all right, if we are president and VP, the theme of the show should be Oasis. So we weren't even in the position, and she, the amazing person she is, was like, okay, that sounds great. So we were like, all right, we know the theme, but really what inspired us is the word oasis means a water source in the desert. And we truly believe that is what MUF&D is at Miami. We believe that we are able to provide resources, the support, the help, or whatever our members need to help them bloom and be the greatest they are and find their passion. So we truly believe that, and we think that MUF&D is an oasis here.
That's awesome. And you mentioned earlier that y'all haven't had the live fashion show since 2019. So how does it feel to finally be back in person and being able to do these events after all the cancellations and delays and everything of that nature?
It feels amazing. I can't wait. It's crazy that the last time was my freshman year. Now I'm a senior. It's also crazy that when I went as a guest my freshman year, 3 years later, I'm now planning the whole thing. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm honored, and it's been a privilege, and it's fun to just see all of our hard work pay off. I think it's going to be great to see all the people that have been to a show in the past and look at what we have kept the same, but what have we changed and how we've been creative and innovated to make it the best show yet.
That's awesome. And then if you just want to let us know when the show is, how the students can get involved to watch.
Yeah. So the show is April 30th. So we're about 15 days out. It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
It's at 7 p.m. in Millett. And student tickets are only $10. It's in our bio on our Instagram. They can purchase them, and everyone's welcome to come.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so excited to hear more about it. And Melissa, thank you for being on the show with us tonight.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Of course. Joining us now in the studio, we have potential Ohio District 44 candidate, Sam Lawrence.
Hi, Miami University. My name is Nia Hinson, and I'm here today to talk with Sam Lawrence, who is a freshman here at Miami, planning to run for Ohio District 44. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And so just right off the bat, why did you decide you wanted to run for what will likely be the Ohio House District 44?
Well, thanks for having me, Nia.
Yeah.
First of all, my decision to run wasn't really prompted by anything sudden. It was a decision that I took a lot of time to think about. But ultimately, it was because no one else wanted to run. We're seeing a lot of it in these really rural districts in Ohio where Democrats simply aren't putting a name on the ballot and just letting Republicans walk into office. And so anytime I get criticism about policy or my age or my platform from other Democrats, I can point to them and say, nobody else is running for this seat. That's why I'm running.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome. So on your website, your goals state that you want to sponsor common sense, fair bills, and promote bipartisanship. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this means to you?
Yeah, of course. So the last segment, I was actually sitting here in the studio. I got to see our newly elected student body president and vice president, Armitage and Kennedy, come on, and they were talking about how they were the first ticket to ever be endorsed by the college Democrats and the college Republicans here at Miami. I am the newly elected vice president of the college Democrats, and I was thrilled to see this when it came out. And that's just kind of a small thing that we're doing here on campus that can really translate into some real world change. So you're seeing all this polarization and politicization in our world of every single issue, and sometimes I think people need to realize that we just need to come together and realize that we're all Americans and all Ohioans at the end of the day.
Yeah. So what do you plan to do in your time before the election to continue your campaign and kind of get your name out there?
Well, the primary election is going to be sometime this summer. They haven't actually announced it yet due to the current redistricting process that's going on. But we've already launched our campaign. We currently have over 35 campaign staff working super hard, and I'm not paying any of them. They're all volunteers, many students here on campus, a few people who are living here in Oxford or in Hamilton. And we're really just planning to talk to as many people as possible. And that's why Democrats keep losing in these rural districts. Frankly, they're not getting out to talk to people. I've went out, and to get on the ballot, I had to get over 50 signatures. I went and I talked to Republicans and I talked to Democrats. Only Democrats can sign that. That's not going to stop me from talking to Republicans.
Awesome. So what, in your opinion, would you say makes you stand out from other candidates that are running for this?
Aside from the elephant in the room, that I am 18 years old and that you can legally run for the State House of Representatives in Ohio at 18, I'd say it's the fact that I don't have any other political experience. And I know that some people are kind of apprehensive now after some events that we've had in this country with other people with no political experience running for office. And I completely understand. But what I want to say is that my opponent has had 3 terms of political experience, and I don't believe in bad-mouthing or name-calling, but I can say that she's used that to represent the people of this district quite badly, and I'm working to change that.
It's a great mindset to have, yeah.
Thank you.
So what issues specifically are you going to address and work towards that affect Miami students as well as the community as a whole?
Well, first of all, my top priority is the environment, and will be the environment until we can find what the hell we're doing. Frankly, it's no secret that there is a climate emergency going on in our country right now, and even at the state level, we can start fighting that. Tax incentives to businesses for green incentives, solar panels, wind power, new energy initiatives. There are so many grants and bills that can be put through by our House of Representatives, yet there are so many representatives that are apprehensive from switching over to clean energy to save our environment. Another issue that's really personal to me is the fight for education. There has been, at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level, in school board meetings, in our living rooms, there has been debate on these kitchen table topics, whether it's what can be taught in a classroom or simply what can be talked about in a classroom. And I think that it's extremely important to myself and every single person working on my campaign that we're not discriminating against anyone in the classroom, and that we're making sure that everyone is treated equally.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great that you're passionate about that. So thank you again for being here, and good luck with everything. I'm Nia Hinson. Thanks for tuning in. That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to our Penn Ultimate Show. Be sure to check back with us for more content. I'm Nia.
And I'm Anna. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Miami MTN.